and thanks for joining the first in our series of coffee break webinars presented by NetSphere Strategies and CoreMedia. My name is Abby Miller, and I'm the Digital Marketing Manager at NetSphere Strategies. My co-presenters for today's webinar are Martin Radicke from CoreMedia and my colleague Jeff Folsom. Hi Jeff, hi Martin.
Hi Abby.
Hey Abby.
Okay, so today's webinar is going to focus on the power of advanced site search and how it can be leveraged by e-commerce marketing and merchandising teams. We'll be talking about creating the customer experience, the role of search within the customer experience, and the benefits of Solr in this context, and how IBM and CoreMedia optimizes Solr for merchandising and improving customer experiences. So, for those who aren't familiar with Solr, it's an open-source enterprise search platform and a leading solution for advanced site search.
Perfect. And to help the attendees visualize these concepts and really get a feel for what the customer experience could look like when online shoppers visit a site where Solr's not only enabled but also optimized, we'll be working with CoreMedia Live Context and also IBM's WebSphere Commerce Management Center.
Perfect. And before we kick things off, I want to remind attendees that we'll have a Q&A at the end of the webinar. To submit questions, use the webinar control panel, which should be on your screens now. So again, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. Let's get started.
All right. Thanks for the info, Abby. So when it comes to site search, the logical place to start is to talk about its benefits. And all studies point to the fact that when we improve online customer experiences, revenues follow suit. And when e-commerce businesses optimize search for their sites, conversion rates increase and profits rise and customer satisfaction skyrockets. And that's because customers can find what they're looking for quickly and easily. So industry analysts tell us that when a desirable match isn't returned on a search, 75% of the time shoppers will look elsewhere. So that's a pretty high bounce rate. Conversely, when search is robust and intuitive, conversion rates increase. So there was a recent study that showed 71% of online shoppers reported that keyword searches are helpful in shaping online purchase decisions. So clearly, delivering relevant results is an important aspect of advanced site search, but it's just one of many. Advanced search can also be considered for businesses looking to launch product campaigns and promote specific items. So merchandisers would like the ability to customize the search results of their products. It's one of many aspects of the online store that marketers want control of. Time to market's crucial, and they often need to move forward with online initiatives without the reliance on IT. So because of this, marketers are looking for new tools to help them become more empowered and self-sufficient.
And hey, the good news is that Solr is built into WebSphere Commerce, and it's also leveraged by CoreMedia Live Context. And today we'll be able to show our audience how they can deliver better customer experiences by implementing some of these search strategies. That's because everything that we cover around search today will be done using IBM Management Center. In our next webinars, we'll show you how you can put even more power into the business user's hands and do some really cool things using CoreMedia's Live Context.
Perfect. So Solr can improve a website by offering the ability to auto-suggest lists for keywords, as well as menus for suggested keywords and categories, brands, site content, and search history. It also offers automatic search term suggestions and spelling corrections. So we'll show you how business users can add this and a few other features without the help of IT. So business users now have the power to better influence customer buying habits and increase average order values by changing the relevance of products returned in search results, also contextualizing search results based on user behavior, and defining synonyms for search terms. So let's see how this works. In the same way that Google seemingly finishes users' thoughts by producing a list of potential search terms, Solr can be configured to do the same. And by doing so, website visitors can find what they're looking for faster, even if they misspell a word. So let's say a customer types COFF into a search field. A properly configured Solr search will yield keyword matches like coffee or coffee maker. And as the customer types additional characters, the list of search results changes accordingly. So seeing the desired topic, the customer can then select it and navigate to the appropriate page on the site. So here you can see we've selected the page containing coffee makers. Now one quick note, while the focus of our webinar series is putting the power into the business user's hands, I will point out that because type ahead is part of the initial setup of any search configurations, any modifications here must be carried out by our friends in the IT organization. But to get back to the power that Solr gives the marketing team, search plays a huge role in day-to-day merchandising. So let's say a shopper searches for something like a coffee maker on your website, the marketing team needs to ask, what comes to the top of the search list? Is it a product that has high profit margins? Is it a product that's even fully stocked? Is it a product with great customer reviews? So these are all questions that the business really needs to ask themselves in terms of changing the position of certain results. Now, when search results are managed with product campaigns, certain catalog entries can be promoted over others. So Martin, can you show us how this is done in IBM's Management Center?
Absolutely, Jeff. So once you log on to IBM Management Center, you need to go to the Marketing tab, and this is a place where you can manage all your search rules. So I'm going to show you now how you to create a new search rule from scratch, which goal it is to write a certain product to the top of the search result list. So for that, we use this little wizard right here and select search rule. And from all available templates, we are just leveraging the one that is about specifying top search results. And that gets me directly to the search rule editor, and I start by just putting in some meaningful title right here, which is about promoting a certain product, which is in this case the Kitchenelle Style Pro coffee maker. And once I'm done typing that, I can advance to the next step of the search rule, which is the actual search criteria. And this search criteria actually determines if the search rule is executed or not. And what we want to achieve is that if the search phrase contains one of the following words, which is coffee or maker, in that case, the search rule is executed, and the search action here is actually taken into account. This is about specifying one of the top search results for a given product. And for that, I'm just going to just use, just for my clipboard, I just insert this queue that I have here and add it to the list. Once I'm done with that, I save my work, and very importantly, people tend to always forget this, is I need to activate my just newly created search rule. So once I'm done with that, I can go back to the shop, and I can actually try and redo my search. And as you can see, I'm just executing the same search for the same search terms again, and this time, the Kitchenelle Style Pro coffee maker is being promoted to the top of the search result list. So back to you, Jeff.
Perfect. Thanks, Martin. So when a business user can modify the search criteria submitted by site visitors, they're really better equipped to help these shoppers find the products that they need quickly and in an efficient manner. So if a shopper enters a search term coffee, you can restrict the search results to the grocery category and filter out products from other categories such as appliances. Someone might want to do this and make this modification to anticipate what shoppers want to find in their search. So, let's say a shopper has been shopping for groceries and types coffee into the search bar. Chances are that person's looking for coffee beans rather than coffee makers or coffee tables or coffee mugs. Another reason you might want to make a change like this is to highlight a high profit margin or a high margin item or a product that has excess inventory. So Martin, can you also show us how that's done?
Certainly, Jeff. So back to Management Center. So instead of creating yet another search rule from scratch, I will just reuse a pre-existing one this time, but I want to walk you through the individual components of that search rule. So first of all, we have some metadata describing that search rule. Now it gets interesting. We have the first search criteria item here, and that is simply meaning that this rule is triggered when the search phrase is coffee. And then there's a second search criteria, which is new, and this is about the purchase history of a certain shopper. And it goes like this. So if the shopper has been shopping groceries within the last 10 orders, then this search rule shall be applied. And if that happens, then this search action is actually executed. And what we're trying to do here is to, instead of showing more coffee makers from the appliance category, we want to narrow down or redirect the user to a different category, which is in this case deli, so that he can get results from coffee beans from the deli category instead of more coffee makers, because he was already shopping groceries. And this is the way we want to use here. In order to use it, I have to activate it real quick. So again, I press this little button here, and now I'm ready to test it. So moving back to the shop, in order to test this, we need a test candidate, and for that I'm going to log on as a shopper, which has an active shopping history. So I'm logging on, in this case, as Annalisa Rover. And Annalisa has done some grocery shopping recently within this shop. And now I'm doing exactly the same search for coffee as I did before, but on behalf of Annalisa. And as you can see, this time I get different results because I got narrowed down to the deli category, and I get coffee beans instead of more coffee makers based on upon my purchase history. Another cool thing we can do with Solr is to replace search terms, which can be likened to defining synonyms. So let's say a shopper enters a general search like coffee maker. Chances are that individuals also want to see results beyond the basic idea of coffee maker. They might also want to see espresso makers in the search result list. So you can actually use synonyms to broaden the search of a user, whereas the last search that we've done was the search was about narrowing down certain search results. So how do we define synonyms? Well, again, we go to Management Center, and this time we go to the Catalogs tab, and there you can manage your search term associations. And one of the tabs of that field is actually about synonyms, and I'm going to create a new synonym for coffee, which actually is espresso. And I just save the new synonym, and there's no activation here for this kind of element, but I can now test it. And this time I use again an anonymous user, and I'm just redoing my search for coffee and see what I get. As you can see, I get now a more widened search result list. So it's coffee makers plus espresso makers all mixed together. And actually my first rule that I was creating in the beginning of this webinar is also still active, so you can also combine search rules. And with that, back to Jeff.
Thanks, Martin. Yeah, so let's recap what we've seen here today for when customers search your storefront. So auto-suggest and auto-correct can speed up the process for customers, really enabling them to quickly find the items that they're looking for. Also, changing the relevance of items can help you promote specific items. And then we just saw defining synonyms can increase the scope of search results. So there's a lot that a business user can take advantage of to enhance the customer shopping experience.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Martin. So it looks like that wraps up today's webinar, which means that now we'll answer some of the questions that came up. But, you know, actually it looks like we might only have time for one question, so let's start with one of the first questions that we received, which actually, now that I'm looking at it, it looks like this is probably a question that's on everyone's mind. Do I need to know HTML to manage these tools? What a great question.
I'll take this one. So, as a matter of fact, no, you don't need to know HTML. Everything that we outlined in today's webinar can all be done with menu options and toolbar buttons, and also keyboard shortcuts. And also, I should note that with CoreMedia's Live Context tool, that also doesn't require any HTML experience. And in fact, you can create entire landing pages without knowing any HTML whatsoever. So, we'll see a lot of that in the upcoming webinars, where we'll see how Live Context really puts even more control into the business user's hand, and you can do it with just UI and no HTML necessary. So
that's fantastic. So like I was saying, we really want to just try and stay within our allotted time. So if you have a question that wasn't answered, we'll be sure to email you individually. No matter what, though, we just want to thank everyone for joining us today. And don't forget to sign up for the next webinar, excuse me, where we'll explore how to execute effective marketing campaigns that are driven by search. And we'll also show users how to create their own landing pages to highlight the products that are displayed when shoppers search your site. So, thank you.